Hello, welcome back to Joyful Clicks. Our DNA is a living record carrying the stories, journeys, and struggles of our ancestors. Unlocking it connects us to our roots and reveals the tapestry of who we are. DNA is the blueprint of life, a code passed down from our ancestors, shaping everything from our appearance to our health. Each strand is a library of stories, migrations, resilience, and connections, waiting to be discovered. Thanks to modern technology, anyone can now explore their genetic heritage and uncover the secrets within. DNA is a language written with 4 letters, A, T, C, and G, paired to form genes, the words that instruct our bodies. These genes are bundled into chromosomes, a blend of our parents' genetic stories. Tiny changes, or mutations, make each of us unique, shaping our traits and health. Our DNA is a living document, constantly evolving with every generation. Imagine your DNA as a vast library, each gene a book chronicling your family's journey through time. It holds clues to your physical traits, health risks, and even hidden surprises about your lineage. By exploring this library, we gain insight into our past and a deeper appreciation for our place in the human family. Unlocking your ancestral stories starts with a simple saliva sample sent to a DNA testing company. In the lab, your DNA is extracted and analysed for unique genetic markers, each one a clue to your heritage. By comparing your markers to millions of others, scientists piece together your ancestral puzzle, revealing connections across the globe. Picture the human genome as a vast tapestry, each person's DNA a unique thread woven into the whole. Ancestry sites use algorithms to find matching segments, connecting you to relatives and tracing your roots across continents. These matches reveal not just family ties, but also the migrations and minglings that shaped your heritage. Your DNA becomes a map, guiding you through the story of humanity. Genetic markers are inherited heirlooms, carrying whispers of migration, isolation, and intermarriage. Analysing these markers paints a picture of your ethnic background and opens doors to cultures, traditions, and relatives you never knew. Your ancestry is a complex puzzle, each genetic marker a piece revealing part of your heritage. Scientists use vast databases to fit these pieces together, accounting for centuries of migration and cultural exchange. The result is a nuanced portrait of your origins, reflecting the diversity and interconnectedness of human history. Think of your ancestry results as an impressionist painting. Broad strokes reveal dominant regions, while subtle hues hint at hidden stories. Delving deeper uncovers unexpected connections and migrations, adding richness to your family's narrative. Your genetic portrait is ever evolving, a journey of discovery that brings your ancestral story to life. The true power of DNA testing lies not just in the percentages it reveals, but in the stories those percentages unlock. Each result is more than a number. It's a key to a door that has long been closed, waiting for you to open it and step into the world of your ancestors. Each genetic marker, each shared segment of DNA, is a thread that connects you to the past, a whisper of history passed down through generations. These tiny fragments of genetic code carry echoes of lives lived long before you, of choices made, and of journeys taken across continents and centuries. By following these threads, by unraveling the stories they hold, we can gain a deeper understanding of who we are and where we come from. The process becomes a journey of self-discovery, as you piece together the puzzle of your heritage, one clue at a time. Imagine discovering, for example, that a portion of your DNA matches that of individuals living in a remote village in Eastern Europe. Suddenly, a place you may have never heard of becomes a part of your identity, a distant land that now feels strangely familiar. Intrigued, you delve deeper, researching the history of the region, uncovering stories of migration, of hardship and resilience, of cultural traditions passed down through generations. You might learn about the foods your ancestors ate, the languages they spoke, and the customs they cherished, all of which have subtly shaped who you are today. Suddenly, those dry percentages on your ancestry report come alive, transformed into a tangible connection to a past you never knew existed. The numbers become faces, names, and stories, real people whose lives are now intertwined with yours in ways you never imagined. Or perhaps your DNA reveals a connection to a historical event, a migration pattern, or even a long-lost branch of your family tree. You may find yourself linked to a moment in history, a movement of people, or a family you never knew you had. You might uncover stories of ancestors who braved treacherous journeys, who faced discrimination or persecution, who overcame unimaginable obstacles to create a better life for their descendants. Their courage and determination become a part of your own story, inspiring you to face your own challenges with renewed strength. These stories, woven into the very fabric of your DNA, can be both humbling and empowering, reminding us of the strength and resilience of the human spirit. They teach us that we are the product of countless generations of survival, adaptation, and hope. And sometimes, these discoveries can be life-changing. A single revelation can alter the way you see yourself and your place in the world, opening your heart to new connections and possibilities. DNA testing has reunited adopted individuals with their biological families, helped solve decades-old mysteries, and even shed light on historical injustices. It has brought closure to families, answered questions that lingered for generations, and provided a sense of belonging to those who felt lost. It has the power to rewrite personal narratives, to connect us to communities we never knew we belonged to, and to foster a deeper understanding of our shared human history. Through these discoveries, we realize that our stories are not isolated, but part of a vast, interconnected tapestry that binds us all together. While the percentages and maps provided by Ancestry websites offer a fascinating glimpse into our heritage, they are just the beginning of a much deeper journey. These colourful charts and numbers can spark curiosity, but they rarely tell the whole story of who we are or where we come from. It's really the unexpected personal stories, the ones that catch us off guard and make us question what we thought we knew, and the individual connections forged through DNA discoveries that truly bring our ancestral past to life, transforming abstract data into living, breathing history. Take, for instance, the story of Sarah, an ordinary woman with an extraordinary family secret waiting to be uncovered. Sarah always believed her family's roots were firmly planted in Ireland. Generations of family lore, passed down through Sunday dinners filled with laughter and stories, and photo albums filled with smiling Irish faces, had solidified this belief in her mind. Intrigued by the prospect of learning more about her Irish heritage and perhaps finding new relatives, Sarah decided to take a DNA test, hoping to confirm the stories she'd heard all her life. She eagerly awaited her results, imagining ancient Celtic connections, legendary ancestors, and maybe a long-lost relative with fiery red hair who would fit perfectly into her family's Irish narrative. When the results arrived, however, they brought more than she bargained for. Sarah was in for a surprise that would challenge everything she thought she knew. While a significant portion of her DNA did indeed trace back to Ireland, confirming her expectations, there was an unexpected twist, something she never anticipated. A sizable chunk of her ancestry pointed to Italy. At first, Sarah dismissed it as an anomaly, a simple error in the system or a misinterpretation of the data. She waved it off, convinced it was just a glitch that didn't mean anything. But the more she thought about it, the more the mystery gnawed at her curiosity. The idea of an Italian connection began to intrigue her, and she couldn't let it go. She began digging into her family history, reaching out to relatives she barely knew, searching for any clues that might explain this unexpected Italian connection, determined to get to the bottom of it. She pored over old family documents, contacted distant relatives for their memories, and even visited the National Archives, hoping to find a missing piece of the puzzle. Her persistence paid off. After weeks of searching, she finally made a breakthrough. Deep within a dusty archive box hidden among forgotten papers, Sarah stumbled upon a collection of letters written in Italian, their words faded but still legible. The faded ink hinted at a long-forgotten past, a story waiting to be rediscovered. With the help of a translator, Sarah began to piece together the truth hidden in those letters. She discovered that her great-grandmother, the family matriarch whose stories had always been shrouded in whispers and half-truths, had emigrated not from Ireland, as everyone believed, but from a small picturesque village in Italy, forever changing Sarah's understanding of her identity. Sarah's story is just one example of how DNA testing can rewrite personal narratives, revealing hidden chapters in our family histories. For some, these revelations can be life-changing, bridging continents and connecting hearts separated by time and circumstance. Consider the story of David, a young man who had always felt a sense of rootlessness, a yearning for a connection he couldn't quite place. Adopted as an infant, David had little information about his biological family. He carried a deep curiosity about his origins, a desire to understand the people and places that had shaped his identity. With a mix of hope and trepidation, David decided to take a DNA test, hoping it might provide some answers, some sense of belonging. Weeks later, David received his results. As he scrolled through the list of DNA matches, one name jumped out at him. It was a woman named Maria, living in Argentina, listed as a close relative. Intrigued, David reached out, sending a message filled with a lifetime's worth of questions. To his surprise, Maria responded immediately, her words overflowing with warmth and excitement. It turned out that David had a half-sister, separated from him by circumstance but connected by an unbreakable bond of blood. Their father, a travelling musician, had passed away years earlier, leaving behind a legacy of love and music that transcended borders. Through DNA testing, David and Maria discovered not only a sibling but a shared history, a cultural heritage they were eager to explore together. Sometimes, the stories we tell ourselves about our families, the narratives passed down through generations, are not entirely accurate. They may be embellished, romanticized, or even deliberately concealed, protecting secrets that have been buried for years. DNA testing has the power to unearth these secrets, to challenge long-held assumptions and rewrite family lore. For Emily, a woman who had always been proud of her family's deep southern roots, their history intertwined with the antebellum South, DNA testing revealed a truth that shook her to her core. Her results indicated a significant percentage of African ancestry, a discovery that contradicted everything she thought she knew about her family. At first, Emily was in denial, convinced there must be a mistake. But as she dug deeper, she began to uncover long-whispered rumors, hushed conversations about a family scandal, a hidden chapter in her family's past. She learned that her great-great-grandfather, a wealthy plantation owner, had fathered a child with one of his slaves, a secret that had been carefully guarded for generations. The revelation was both painful and liberating for Emily. It forced her to confront uncomfortable truths about her family's past, to acknowledge the legacy of slavery and its impact on her own identity. But it also allowed her to connect with a part of her heritage that had been hidden from her, to embrace the complexity and richness of her ancestry. We began this journey into the world of DNA and ancestry with a simple question: where do we come from? It's a question that echoes through generations, whispered at family gatherings and pondered in quiet moments alone. The search for our origins is as old as humanity itself, a quest to understand not just our place in the world, but the stories that shaped us. As we've delved into the science, the technology, and the deeply personal stories embedded in our genes, we've uncovered a truth far more profound than simple geographical origins. The double helix of DNA is not just a scientific marvel. It's a living record, a bridge between past and present, carrying echoes of our ancestors' choices, struggles, and hopes. We've learned that our ancestry is not just a list of names and dates, but a living tapestry woven from the threads of countless lives, loves, and journeys. Each thread tells a story, and together they form a vibrant picture of who we are and where we come from. Our family trees are not static. They grow and change with every new discovery, every story shared around the dinner table. The percentages and maps provided by Ancestry websites are fascinating. Yes, but they're merely the starting point. They offer us a glimpse, a doorway, into a much larger narrative, one that stretches across continents and centuries. The real magic happens when we allow those numbers to spark our imaginations, to ignite a curiosity about the individuals behind the data points. Suddenly, statistics become stories, and distant relatives become real people with dreams, fears, and adventures of their own. Who were these ancestors who braved treacherous seas, who crossed continents in search of a better life, who passed down their resilience, their dreams, their very essence to us? What did they hope for? And what did they leave behind? Their courage and determination are woven into the fabric of our being, shaping the people we are today. Each genetic marker, each shared segment of DNA is a tie that binds us to this vast and intricate human story. These invisible threads connect us not only to our immediate family, but to distant cousins and forgotten ancestors, to people we may never meet but with whom we share a common heritage. It's a reminder that we are all connected across cultures, continents, and time by the common thread of humanity. Our differences, while real and meaningful, are overshadowed by the deep connections that unite us all as members of the human family. The discovery of an unexpected ancestor, the revelation of a hidden chapter in our family's past. These are not just interesting anecdotes, they're opportunities to broaden our perspectives, to challenge our assumptions, and to embrace the beautiful complexity of the human experience. Each revelation invites us to see ourselves anew, to understand that our stories are part of something much larger. As we trace our ancestral roots, we come to realize that the lines between us and them blur, that our differences are far outweighed by our shared humanity. The boundaries that once seemed so clear begin to dissolve, replaced by a sense of kinship and empathy. We see ourselves reflected in the faces of those who came before, in their struggles and triumphs, their joys and sorrows. Their stories become our stories, their dreams live on in us, and their legacy continues to shape our future. And in that recognition, in that shared human experience, we find a profound sense of belonging, a connection to something far greater than ourselves. The ties that bind us are not just genetic. They are emotional, cultural, and deeply human, reminding us that we are all part of one extraordinary story. The journey into our ancestry is not just about looking back. It's about understanding the present and shaping the future. By uncovering the stories embedded in our genes, we gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that have shaped our world, the migrations, the interminglings, the struggles, and the triumphs that have brought us to this moment in time. We begin to see history not as a collection of dusty facts and figures, but as a living, breathing narrative, a story that continues to unfold through us. We recognize the legacy of our ancestors in our own lives, in our values, our beliefs, our very way of being in the world. And with that recognition comes a sense of responsibility, a desire to honor their sacrifices and to build a better future for generations to come. The world we live in today is increasingly interconnected, a tapestry woven from the threads of countless cultures and traditions. Understanding our own ancestry, embracing the richness and complexity of our heritage, is essential to navigating this globalized world with empathy and understanding. As we learn to celebrate our own unique stories, we also open ourselves to the stories of others, recognizing the shared humanity that unites us all. We become more than just individuals. We become part of something larger than ourselves, a global community bound by the ties of history, heritage, and the enduring power of the human spirit. And in that unity, in that shared understanding, lies the hope for a more just, compassionate, and interconnected world. Thank you for watching.